Sawadee Krab, and welcome to the first ever Funkit Pod cat episode. So since I started to talk a lot about cats on my podcast, simply given that there are two cats right now looking at me while I'm recording this on my, not sure if you can see it if you watch the video. If you just listen, I explain it on my cat-safe balcony. There's a net here on my left-hand side next to the railing, so that the cats can play outside, and they're both staring at me right now like, Dad, why are you sitting between our plants on our chair where we usually chill? I'm sorry. I figured it's just a nice environment to do the cat podcast, because I don't always want to sit on my desk, obviously. So I'm trying to split this now away from the Funkit Pod. So it's part of the Funkit Pod, obviously, but once a week I simply talk cat stuff for 10 minutes or so. I think that's going to be enough. I simply want this to be a platform where I can just share my thoughts, and maybe someone benefits from it, or someone has a few ideas. So I just want to reach out to a few other cat people, because quite frankly, I don't connect to the average cat person that I find in the Facebook groups or on IG or so on. Like, my cats don't just sleep at home and sit around and blah. I mean, I'm going to explain it in a second. So, I mean, let's just do it right away. I wrote a cool intro down, and now I'm already all over the place. So I take my cats out. We go for walks once or twice a day at least. They walk on a leash. I mean, obviously not exactly like a dog, so they're not just walking next to me. They do that too. If you go somewhere outside and then on the way home, they... No, if you've watched The Secret Life of Pets on Netflix, nice show, or maybe you even know that like cats have like this magnetic center. I butcher it, of course, but so they always find their way home. So then they of course also walk right next to me and things like this. But when we go out in the garden here where I live, for example, they don't stay next to me. They just run around, of course. But I take them to 7-Eleven. There are a few pet-friendly shopping malls here, like outdoor shopping malls, where I take them and then we walk around, and they're on the leash and they sit with me if I have like a coffee or something. Not that I drink coffee, but if I sit down, if I eat something, then they just stay with me. And while I'm recording this podcast, if you watch the video, you see me like looking over the camera sometimes, because my cats are now on the railing here on the balcony, at least one of them. And sometimes, I mean, they're house cats. We are outside a lot, but they're still house cats. So sometimes, especially in the rainy season right now here in Thailand, when it's wet, they slip sometimes. So I'm looking with one eye over there to see if they're slipping. So now, what I want to do with this cat podcast once a week is simply share what happened. Again, maybe someone benefits from that, or maybe someone has simply some ideas while I'm talking with my cat. Say, snooze, don't go there. You're not supposed to go there. Sometimes, like at the edges of the cat-safe balcony, snooze. Okay, they try to squeeze through, like where the wall meets the net, for example, and then they try to squeeze through, but they know they're not supposed to do it. So when I say the name like a little bit more louder, like snooze, then she turns around, looks at me, is like, oh, okay, I know I'm not supposed to do that. Exactly, you know it. It's also when we go out sometimes, and we have like a garden area, and then there's also like a parking area where cars can park, right? And then sometimes especially the black cat Snooze is like the more adventurous one, I want to say. She walks over to the parking area and she knows she's not supposed to be there. And then when I walk after her, and I don't even need to say anything really loud. I'm just like, Snooze. And then she knows that she's not supposed to go somewhere. Oh, no, she's coming here. What did you see? Did you just hear your name, or do you just want to be on camera for those watching the video? Hey. For those who just listened, she just came right next to me. I guess there's probably a gecko or something that she saw. Okay, don't try to break out, okay? Okay. So then what happened this week, right? So this week, the other cat, in case you're watching, not the black cat, I have another one, the white cat, Spooky. She didn't feel well for like a day or so, like 1.5 days. Actually, just a day. So usually what happens is when I go to the bedroom and I'm about to sleep, then usually they want to join, right? They're coming, and then if I don't let them in, they scratch the door like, yeah, let us in. And okay, especially Spooky. Then I let them in, of course, and they have their spots in the bed, which are on the corner of the beds. I never pushed them there; they just found them by themselves, so they're always on the corner of the bed. So. Sometimes I would want them to come closer to me and say like, hey, cuddle, but they always move to the corner of the bed. Then I have to come to them to cuddle. Anyways, and then usually like snooze, that's why the name, she just sleeps. Like if I wake up for work or if I wake up early, she looks at me like, why are you waking me up that early? The other one, Spooky, she wakes up like at some point during the night when it's still dark outside, so I don't really know what time, but when it's still really dark outside, and she wants to go out of the bedroom, so I just open the bedroom door and she runs out into the apartment and does whatever she does. I have no idea. And usually, I mean, nothing happens because she does it all the time. Now she's 2 years old now, so she's been doing this forever. Hey, are you looking at me? Want to say something? Okay. But the other day she then also again went out during the night, and then in the morning when I open the door, and usually she comes running when I open the door, she's like, hey, yeah, I haven't seen you in like 3 hours or so. And then she comes. This time she didn't. And then I was looking for her. I'm like, Spooky, where are you? And then she was like looking all lethargic, just lying around the whole time. I got a little bit worried. And then I saw, and they're both not using the litter box anymore. They're both trained to go to the bathroom if they have to pee or poop. So they're using. I have 2 toilets here. They're using the guest toilet to pee or poop, which is kind of nice. And then so I saw that on the way to the toilet, I saw that there was some diarrhea on the floor. So she tried to go to the bathroom, but she didn't make it. And then also when I was just talking to her, I can see that she's about to vomit, and she tried to walk to the bathroom, but she couldn't make it, and she vomited a little bit on the way to the bathroom. So I appreciate that she tried to actually make it to the bathroom, but she didn't. And so then I realized, okay, must be she's not feeling well, obviously. So I observed a little bit. I saw she ate just a little bit. Of course, I Googled and whatnot, and you ask just with our symptoms, you find like all the worst symptoms. I thought maybe it's just when she went out at night, maybe she ate like a gecko, like a small lizard, like because they are here everywhere and they like to play with them and sometimes eat stuff. I mean, a few months ago, one of them, I don't really know who, ate like a small frog while we were playing outside, and I thought that they threw it up again. So I saw the small frog being thrown up. So I just nurtured her a little bit. I then in the evening got some wet food. I figured maybe that's a bit easier to eat, and then she started to eat again in the evening, which was nice. But like the whole day I was worried, of course. I had to go out for a few hours, and then actually was supposed to go somewhere in the evening. But I got so worried that I have to take her to the vet. So I just canceled all my plans and just came back home just to take care of her. But then late that evening, it got better. She started to eat more. And then she started to walk around again. And usually when I open the house door, the apartment door, she runs out and she just stops right outside the door and just chills outside because it's like a cool floor in the hallway, and she likes that. But while she wasn't feeling well, she didn't do that at all. Or when I open the balcony door, usually she's the first one to run out, and this time she didn't even go outside. But then in the evening, she started to do all those things again. So I was like, okay, phew. That was a stressful day because you're really worried. I guess it's like with children. Don't come at me if you have children. So I don't have children yet. So I just can imagine that it's even worse, of course. But it was already pretty intense the whole day. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was just like looking at her and like petting her and touching her. I'm like, Spooky, are you okay? It was crazy. How you make me feel those things. She's still sitting there behind the camera and behind the microphone. Okay, so. Oh, it's one thing that happened. So if something like this happened to you, let me know. Do you go to the vet right away? I was just thinking because you might say, yeah, let's just go to the vet. But especially Spooky, she's super stressed when she goes to the vet. she hates it. I mean, lots of pets hate it, of course, but Snooze is rather cool. She's like, yeah, okay, I don't like it, but whatever. So she doesn't claw or go crazy, but Spooky really fights the vet, and she doesn't let anyone touch her. So I'm the only one who can touch her and can put her down and can hold her. Like when she had to get an injection once at the vet, she scratched like 3 people at the vet, like the doctor and 2 assistants, and then they asked me to hold her. So I don't want to just take her to the vet just to see, because she really hates it and she goes crazy, and I just don't want to put her through it, because I think maybe it makes it even worse then. So I thought I'm going to wait the day, and then if it's still bad, there's a vet clinic that's 24/7 open close to where I live. I figured I'm going to take her then in the evening, also probably less people there. But then she felt better, luckily. So that's what happened there. Yeah. So that also already brings me, Snooze is lying down here next to me, just yawning. You were sleeping the whole day. Why are you yawning? It brings me to also the sleeping habits, which is quite interesting, because, like I said, Snooze, that's why the name, she just sleeps everywhere all the time. She's also very active. So in like, it's like 6:30 p.m. while I'm recording right now. So in about 30 minutes max, she's going to be like, I want to go out. She's going to sit at the front door and be like, I want to go out now. And then that's usually the time when we go for a walk. So she's very active then. But until then, yeah, she can sleep everywhere all the time. It's very sleepy. Spooky is a little bit more picky when it comes to sleeping. A little bit more like you can see the ears like moving all the time. Snooze too, but she just ignores it. But Spooky is like how to say, very attentive also while she's sleeping, so she's very easy to be disrupted. Probably also something, I don't know, based on the tough babyhood that she had, because I mean I had her ever since she's 4 weeks old or so, but the first 4 weeks apparently have been tough. So maybe that's something that's still in there, I guess. Also interested to hear what the audience thinks, what you guys think, how that affects your cats, for example. And but so far, besides that, the sleeping, especially with Snooze, of course, no problem. And like I said, so Spooky then usually goes out of the bedroom during the night, and she wakes me up and she wants to go out, and she starts to then either like softly, like it's not really biting, or it's like nibble my feet if my feet look out of the blanket. If I'm like, oh Spooky, leave me, and I put everything under the blanket, and she tries to find like a body part that's outside the blanket. Sometimes I'm too tired, I just keep everything under the blanket, and either she accepts it, or then like once or twice she came to me and then she just started to lick my nose. Until I woke up and I'm like, okay, you win, I let you out. And usually then when I wake up in the morning and open the door again, because I always close the door to the bedroom, because using air conditioner, I don't want to air con the whole apartment. So when I open the door in the morning, then I have like this a scratch toy close to the bedroom door, because next to is the living room with a sofa, so next to the sofa is a scratch toy. So she usually sits in the scratch toy on top and then just looks at me like, hey Dad, which is kind of cute, and that's our morning thing. So that's really nice. Like lots of people who don't have cats, I guess, say like that cats don't really care about us and they're not like dogs, but that those few hours that she then isn't with me apparently are enough to make it go like, I'm gonna wait in front of the door right now until you open the door, and then she looks at me and goes like, I missed you, and then she stretches in front of me, and then I hug her. So it's rather nice. So I didn't expect it, because I always thought I'm not a cat person before I had a cat, a rescue cat, of course, like adopt, don't shop, obviously. But now obviously I'm a cat person. Okay, what else do we have? Oh yeah, sure. So like I said, the balcony was a great idea. Actually, it was a pain in the butt to set this all up. That net and stuff, because you would have to drill, like of course, like bolts into the wall so that you can then fix the net, and then you have lots of. If you have like a railing, like the one I have, like a metal railing. For those who are not watching, I have a metal railing here with like thin poles going down from the railing, and then you tie it up with zip locks, right? That's the English word, I think, with zip locks. So you tie the net with zip locks to the railing, and then on top, luckily there were like a few anchors in there where maybe the previous tenants had plants or lights hanging or something. So luckily that was there, so I can just put it in there. Otherwise, I would have had to drill like holes and bolts and stuff into the wall, and I didn't want to do that, to be honest. But I'm happy that's there. Now I'm gonna move soon, so I guess then for my next apartment, I also have a balcony. I think I'm just gonna try to have like those super strong, I know, self-adhesive like anchors, kind of like where you can hang like. I have a few of those where I have like some really big pictures, like picture frames on there, and so I figured if they can carry and are strong enough for those heavy pictures that are like a bit heavier, then maybe that's also enough for the net, because the cats didn't try to climb the net yet. It's also because the net is like very soft, like it's not like a cage, so it moves with if the cat puts the head against it or something. So I think that's why they don't try to climb. But if it would be like really like straight like a cage door or something, I guess they would climb. But I have like doors here for the balcony with like this mosquito nets. That's really I don't know how to explain it, under tension, and then they jump against and they climb up. So since there's no tension on the net, I guess that's why they don't climb up there. That's what I assume. All right. Last thing that I wanted just to talk about, like for the intro today, before I talk about like all the other things that we went through, like with going different times we had to go to the doctor, and vaccinations, of course, and sickness, and of course also then getting spayed and so on. It was a whole different story. More on this then next time maybe. The walking on the leash, because sometimes people ask like, "Oh, your cat walks on a leash," and it's like, yeah. But to be also honest, so like Spooky's birthday was in May, so she turned 2 in May. Snooze's birthday is in August. She's gonna turn 2 in August, and we've been walking ever since we met. So I got Spooky when she was like a month old or so. And I mean, first, of course, nurtured her at home and so on. But as soon as she was able to do it, we went outside almost like every day, just walk around together. So I had like a very small leash in the very beginning, and now like a bigger, more comfortable leash. And then there are cat leashes, right? So it's not that I'm like the only one doing that, of course. And same with Snooze. Like I got her. And then as soon as she was healthy enough and fit enough, we just went outside and then walked around. It's a bit stressful when you take both cats together, especially when you go somewhere where they're not familiar with. Like here right now where I live, there's like garden area, so I have them I have the leash on, but I just let them go. I just have the leash just in case something happens, so I can just, like, if I get stuck somewhere, I'm like, okay, I can find you easier. The leash is like, I had like the reflectors on, so I can see them better, especially Snooze since she's black, so when it's then dark outside. I even got like a neck, I know how to call it, like a bandana that's around the neck, like a, I don't know how to, I don't remember, I can't find the right word, but you know what I mean. It's like orange and it's reflective at night so that I can see her better. But yeah, if we go outside somewhere, outside of our area here where we live, you know, of course, I have them, like, I hold the leash and let them walk, but then usually when the cars and stuff, they either come close to me, or when it's really scary, they jump on me, they jump on my shoulder, and then maybe sometimes I have a cat backpack with me just in case, and sometimes they just want to go inside the backpack just to hide there when there are too many cars, for example, or too many people, which is understandable because I feel the same. I also would rather hide somewhere when there are too many people, to be honest. All right, so yeah, so we started ever since I had them, and so that's how they got used to it. So now also, when I get the leash out, they're like, oh, okay, we go somewhere. When I take the cat backpacks out, they're like, oh, yeah, let's go somewhere. And actually, by now, even like Spooky, as I mentioned earlier, she likes to just run outside and just chill outside right in front of the door because of the cool floor. So when I pack my own backpack, or I get my hat and put it on, because I usually wear hats when I go outside, or if I take my keys and then she sees that, or I put on my shoes and she's like, all right, I know what's going to happen, and she walks right to the front door because she knows I'm going to open the door, and she's just going to run outside, flop a little bit on her belly, and then chill on the floor. So I usually plan a few minutes just to let Spooky run outside before I actually have to go somewhere. All right, that's the intro, just to introduce my cats, to introduce like what I'm doing, why I started this part of the podcast. So the people who are not into cats don't have to listen to me talking about my cats all the time. The people who are into cats, maybe we can start a community and start some discussions and so on. In order to achieve this, it would be cool if you, like, share, subscribe to this thing, rate it if you're up for it, because those ratings really help that more people find it, and then maybe you can have like a bigger, better discussion. Because again, and I don't want to hate because I'm in those groups too, but I don't really relate to most of those people in those Facebook groups, at least the ones that I found so far. They're like almost those cliche cat owners, which maybe I am, but I don't really identify myself with those people that I see posting all the time. So maybe, but maybe you let me know and say like, yeah, that's just what you think, and actually you're super cliche. Also up for that. Happy to talk and communicate with anyone and everyone. So thanks for entertaining me and us. And if you watched the video, you've seen Snooze for a second. Maybe next time Spooky's sleeping on the bench behind the camera right now. Next time I get Spooky on camera as well. Let's see. So thanks for this. I hope you have a great time. Thanks for listening, and we talk and chat soon. Sawadee Krap.